We see all three actually picked pretty often. I do like the Jhin first pick a lot. When Varus is banned away, he's just the strongest remaining AD carry, but there are good answers as well. So there's nothing game-changing open here that ROCCAT can grab as a first pick, and it often means we're gonna get a fairly even pick and ban phase. Because now Origen, again, the traditional pick here is Jhin, and then into like your preferred jungler. If you want a Graves, then you go Jhin Graves. You want a Kha'Zix, you go Jhin Kha'Zix. That is a very standard setup, at least.
All right, so Jayce locked
Screw
in
standard
for ROCCAT first pick. We've actually not seen that Jayce in ROCCAT's hand, so that'll be a first time. Graves jungle, no surprise, but the Ezreal, Tabzz ran that last week with xpeke a couple times, and they seemed relatively comfortable.
So here's what happens very often in League of Legends. Each region has their own little meta. Like, a lot of them share a lot of picks, but they all have their own little small things they do. In LCK, they started playing Ezreal a lot. Bang, obviously, in the Telecom Wars, picked it very early on, very often. He said this pick is super strong. And then what tends to happen is then every other team in the world are kind of like, huh, well, if Bang is playing it and Deft is playing it too right now, then I guess Ezreal is probably one of the strongest AD carries, and boom! Everyone plays Ezreal now, and Origen will pick it early on. So, hey, this is very standard in that sense.
Tabzz was playing it last week as well.
Tabzz equals Bang, is what Trevor just said there.
No, you said that. Hjarnan, however, wants to go out with the Bang. He's got himself Ziggs. We're seeing a little bit more, you know. This is a ADC pick that has been flirted with relatively often.
I mean, so Varus is perm banned, so he's not an AD carry anymore. He doesn't exist in the meta. Ziggs is really good because when you pick something like Jayce early, you get a lot of physical damage. It's going to be one of your solo laners, most likely mid lane. Ziggs then makes up for that lack of AP you get. It's also why we sometimes see like Zyra support with the Ziggs to get even more AP from the bottom lane. Gragas being locked in. Top lane Gragas shown blind, which is interesting. There is definitely nothing that tells us Jayce will be a top laner at the moment. Gragas is obviously one of the newer picks to top lane.
Yeah.
I don't think it's insanely strong. Like, I think it's fine, but I don't think it's like blind pick, early pick worthy. In this case, I think you can literally just pick Nautilus against it if you're ROCCAT, and you're like, great, we just have, you know, tank v tank, but our Nautilus has a much easier time engaging a fight, where on Gragas you actually need skills.
Yeah, make sure you land those plays, and for anybody that watches EU Challenger, White Knight's top lane Gragas was phenomenal.
He had skills.
Very excited to see how PSG and White Knight perform in the semi-finals, either this week, no, 2 weeks away. And of course, looking at the bans, Phaxi's not going to get his hands on that Rumble. We were talking a lot about Phaxi coming into this game and looking at how he's going to perform, what he's going to play on.
Good scouting by Origen here.
And his best game this split was on a Rumble.
Yeah.
Obviously with Gragas top, two of those carries taken away. Syndra Rise on the other side, and Pekka going for the Karma locked in now.
Just give me Nautilus for Phaxi up in the top lane, unless he wants to get pretty cray-cray and go for Maokai instead, but I don't think it's necessary. Nautilus is more than fine in this situation. A lot of physical damage on Origen's side. I obviously haven't shown the mid laner yet, so no huge surprise here. And ROCCAT got a blind pick mid, and they got to find their answer. Oh, well, they have the Jayce who can go mid, obviously, and be the blind pick. This is the Zyra we mentioned to get more AP from the bottom lane. Does enable having another physical damage champion right now when you have Jayce, Lee Sin, and then you have AP from the bottom lane.
Well, no tank yet. So ROCCAT, they either go hard mode and put a carry type champion top, or they go slightly easier mode.
I still like Nautilus.
Put the tank top.
Oh.
Is this one of your favorite champions being locked in right now? Swain, what do you think?
Ooh, I mean,
into Gragas?
I heard a lot about Swain being used in like these tank matchups, but they're just baiting us, man. They're playing with my heart here. Grabs, he knows my weakness. I didn't want to get excited because it was just a hover. I'm like, I know there's such a small chance he actually gets locked in.
I was I was so sure Jayce was going mid, and as you mentioned, Deficio, there was nothing to confirm it, and that means Phaxi's going to be playing Jayce up in the top lane.
Yeah, and then NaeHyun needs to find an answer. Like, the thing about Ahri is she's actually a fine blind pick because nothing really destroys her. Like, she can struggle pre-6 against a lot of things, but then once she gets level 6, actually even once she gets level 7 and gets another rank in her queue, she can start like wave clearing and pushing really easily and kind of survive every matchup. So it's a fine blind pick right now, and we see it more and more. It really coming back into the meta. I think Power of Evil actually started it here in Europe, picking it against Oriana a few times. She's not here though. Viktor is on the other hand, and Origen with a very well-rounded teamfight comp, but it's a slow one. it needs to get through the early game, which is not always something Origen have been able to do.
No, not always, but their early game looked slightly better last week. They had a slightly more impressive early game, laning phase rather. Looking at the ROCCAT composition, that's a terrifying mid game as far as I can see. And
so
there's
much
just
damage, man.
So much poke and so much pick potential, but also a lot of coordination, right?
A lot of coordination, of course, but it's a comp where like every member can really like carry the game. Like we've seen Zyra in the past deal like the most damage on the team for the first like 30 minutes. Ziggs as well, once he gets out of his laning phase and he can start really sieging turrets, is actually fantastic. And his AoE damage in fights at level 11 is pretty crazy. So really explosive comp from ROCCAT, but as you said, coordination is required. The no tank top lane comps always require a lot of extra effort.
Yeah.
And for, you know, bottom teams, it can be really difficult to execute them. Because once you make a mistake, you get caught. Boom, boom, boom. Squishy targets, you're dead, dead, dead. That's Baron. And then suddenly the game is over.
Boom, 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 dead, dead, dead.
Boom, boom, down, bam, bam, bam.
And that's what ROCCAT will be hoping to do to Origen. But as you mentioned, Deficio, Origen's team composition needs to get through the early game. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Berlin, it is ROCCAT versus Origen, number 5 versus number 5. Neither team has a series victory, and Origen doesn't have a single game victory in 7 weeks of competitive play.
It sounds really bad when you say it like that, Trevor.
In 14 consecutive games, the longest losing streak in EU LCS history belongs to Origen, and it will either get broken today or it will continue to grow. And that's what we're about to find out, if Origen can survive this game.
Yeah, every time one of these big streaks gets broken, you kind of tell yourself, that will never, you know, happen again. No one is ever going to break this one, but we obviously can't say for sure. No one kind of expected Origen to end up in this situation, but here we are now. Ignore the losing streak, ignore the record. Doesn't matter for the players, doesn't matter for the viewers, because this game is all that matters at the moment.
Yeah. And decision making. I'm looking through summoner spells. Nothing too exciting or interesting just yet.
No, but let's look at lanes then. Jayce, traditionally, is a guy where you have to play around him top lane.
Right.
Jayce top in itself is actually not as strong as it used to be. Things like Black Cleaver got turned a little bit more into a bruiser item and lost a bit of AD. Same thing for like a Last Whisper. There have been some nerfs, you know, around Jayce himself.
Yeah.
So he's no longer as dominant as a top laner, which is why we see him more in the mid lane, but you still have that flex opportunity. You still need to put pressure on his lane, you know, around him, play around him. Otherwise, the tank will always end up having more impact in team fights.
And that's going to be interesting to see if Maxlore can, you know, manage to make that work. We've famously talked about Maxlore's performances between last split and this split, and unfortunately, we do have a momentary pause.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an update in a few minutes' time, but you know, talking about early game, talking about how Origen are going to handle these opening few minutes. I mean, my eyes are going to be on Wisdom. You've touched on how Maxlore's going to go top for Phaxi, and Wisdom was the topic of much discussion last week.
Yes.
But disregard some of the mistakes and just look at his ganks and his presence in the early game. That was a fantastic performance if you just look at that first 10 to 15.
He was active. He was very, very active on the map. I think Origen realized they needed to just get early leads. Like, they weren't going to win a 50-minute team fight or a late game scenario against Misfits, so they had to rely on him early on. And as you said, you know, he pulled off a lot of ganks. Now, the synergy wasn't always there with the lanes, and he then also ended up obviously falling behind later on, which has been kind of Wisdom's problem. He's a little bit of a shotgun effect. Like, it looks great at first, and smack in there, boom, a lot of damage instantly. And then he kind of falls off as we get through the mid to late game. So not the most consistent player, but explosive.
Yeah, explosive shotgun style. He's got a shotgun-wielding jungler today. Let's see if Wisdom can have a bigger impact. Just to give you guys an update, the pause is related to in-game player settings. And I believe we have resolved and corrected the settings, so we will be loading up shortly.
Who's the naughty boy?
I mean, look, there's a lot of pressure here.
Oh, there is.
One team has to win, and yes, it's not the most beautiful of narratives, but still, this is very important.
Yeah, it's very exciting when two guys just have to fight it out here, and only one will technically survive or get away with that victory, especially now with your Origen as well. Vitality sitting in your group with 2 wins. That means if Origen lose this series, it gets almost impossible to catch them. The best they can then hope for is tying Vitality if they can pick up a win against Giants on Sunday and then a win against Vitality next week. So if you're Origen, you don't want to lose this at all because you want to keep that gap closed.
Same story for ROCCAT, but slightly different. If ROCCAT win, because of Giants' unfortunate loss, ROCCAT will then be tied for 4th place in terms of series win-loss. There are numerous tiebreaker scenarios, though, which we'll get to as the split plays out. And as we jump back into the game, reminder, 7.4. That's how we're seeing the champions and why you're seeing the Keystone Masteries.
And I want to talk a little bit about, you know, Ezreal Karma as a lane. We talk about Ezreal coming back into the meta. More and more, obviously LCK really likes to play it. It's considered a very high priority pick over there right now. And a lot of it comes down to like just, if you are a fantastic AD carry, you're really mechanically skilled, this champion just gives you a lot of room to kind of outplay and be a big carry. But what Ezreal can do in lane as well is if he's with a support who can push, then he can actually keep a lot of pressure going. Like he can shove out the wave, he can kind of harass you on the turret, he can try and move around the minions where he can actually land these skill shots on you, and he can be pretty good in lane. Yeah. And Karma is one of those supports who offers this push for him, so it's very important that he has the correct player next to him or champion next to him for him to not fall behind in lane. Because we've seen in the past, Ezreal just lose lane, lose tower, do nothing. Teams have figured out now, Karma is the answer. Yeah,
look at Peke playing very aggressive on the front line, pushing Hjarnan back further and further. Tabzz currently, even on CS at this stage in the game, but of course with Peke playing ADC for a lot of games last year, has a better understanding of the laning phase. What we saw from xpeke, the same problems from his ADC play, getting caught out of position last week. You know, a little over-eager, a little over-aggressive.
Yeah.
Got to be careful, because this Karma, he's going to be wanting to run around, going to be wanting to push up in team fights.
I mean, this is a guy who has not been scrimming since the end of August. You know, it's been a while since he's been in the scrim environment where you do get caught out when you roam alone, unlike things like solo queue where you can be a little bit more loose in how you're moving around the map. So it's natural that you have some of these issues. For now, though, it's very even in the bottom lane. Top lane, Jayce, as we talked about, gets the pressure. You know, he can beat some of these tanks. But Jayce also needs to get a big advantage. Tower needs to drop. Then you start roaming around. You start combining Jayce and Ziggs together, and you have this ultimate siege comp that can really take down objectives. So there's a lot of ways for ROCCAT to kind of play out the comp, but if they start falling behind against a pure team-fighting, scaling monster on the side of Origen, then it gets almost impossible to win.
Very even at 5 minutes. Maxlore's already backed off, got his first jungle upgrade and a longsword. I'm trying to look at the pathing. Satorius being pushed under tower, as you mentioned, Deficio. And we'll see what Maxlore decides to do, because now you start to feel like, hey, if pressure were to be applied in the lane, this is where Maxlore would look to do, and he's already going to spot out Wisdom on that Raptor camp inside his jungle.
Yeah, now it's always an option as Lee Sin to say, I'm going to farm for 6. I'm going to get my ulti, and then I'm going to pull off my first gank. So if you don't feel like there is an opening, don't feel too pressured.
Okay.
Can be hard on stage sometimes to perform. And all you need is a clap on the shoulder telling you it's going to be okay. Right, Trev?
Every little thing's going to be all right, especially with the vision that Maxlore's put down. He just invaded the top quadrant of the jungle, put Orion's belt arrangement of wards. And even though there's no camps there yet, we'll see what information that provides. Not an explosive start to the game here for
No,
IDC.
where's the fight, man? I was promised a lot of fights early.
Who promised that? Maybe we anticipated or hoped for it.
I mean,
there's no promises, Deficio. You even said yourself.
Yeah.
Early game is not where Origen want to fight.
True. No, so obviously it's on ROCCAT to force the plays. It's not on Origen. Classic Viktor move. I'm gonna ult the wave, kill that stuff, go back to base, get my Hex Core, and then return to lane. NaeHyun out of mana anyway, so we're kind of waiting for that level 6 from Maxlore. And then we're gonna just follow Maxlore where he decides to go, because I don't think any lane from ROCCAT will get the advantage on their own. It's been a problem for them, you know, all split long. They couldn't really snowball. Betsy's now moving top, so he's saying, Maxlore, you're too slow. I'm going to do it for you. Ward will spot him. That means Satorius should get out of dodge.
Should get out. Should get out.
He's waiting for backup. Wisdom is on his way.
Oof, this could get scary. How long does Betsy decide to stick around? Not particularly long, it seems. Gets a movement speed from the Q and runs away.
And this here, let's start again. This is here. Again, we start again. All right, reset. This situation, Trevor.
Yes, Martin.
If the mid laner has time to roam to the top lane and threaten a dive, why didn't the jungler join?
I don't know the answer to this question. I'm very uncomfortable in this scenario.
Right, right. Okay, so yeah, I'm asking you the questions here. Because then it becomes a 3v1 dive against Gragas. I have no idea what happened before. My brain literally stopped working twice, and I just had to kind of reset. But yeah, I would have loved to see Maxlore join Betsy, roam top lane. Like Betsy makes the call, hey, he's backing, you know, he's gone, I can roam. Maxlore joins in the mid lane, moves to top, kills Satorius, take tower. You know, that's how we traditionally see these kind of early games play out. But Maxlore was on the other side.
And it's difficult to decide or to decipher. Is this Maxlore being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Is this not being communicated effectively between multiple teams? Are they not planning far enough ahead? There's a number of reasons that could be the cause for you know, not being there for the dive.
Well, from watching scrims in the past and listening to like pro teams communicate, when stuff like this happens, it's because they don't talk like a minute in advance.
Right.
It's not a, oh, if this guy recalls, he's out of mana. If he recalls, we can go top. And then Maxlore knows he needs to be nearby. It more happens in the moment. You're like, oh, he recalled. I'm going top. And then Maxlore's already busy doing something else. And then he can't join.
So Deficio, talking about the moment. On screen a moment ago, Maxlore and Betsy moved in to steal a blue buff from Origen. So small advantage there. Some defensive control wards up in the top river, as well as just in front of the Dragon Pit from Origen. And now it looks like Origen trying to at least counter that blue buff steal. Wisdom's moving into the Wolf camp.
Yeah, we're a little bit disappointed on the fact that we haven't seen like anything being forced with Ahri ulti, Lee Sin ulti.
Overly cautious play?
Yeah, it's too passive. You're against scaling compositions. You need to get some sort of early advantage for your comp to start working well. They can even steal away a blue buff here. Really good for Origen. Nice setup. Let's give all the credit to xpeke for that call. And now, honestly, Origen in a great spot at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Origen going to be comfortable. 10 minutes in, almost, and they're going even. ROCCAT, though, across all of their games, you know, they are on average down 1,200 gold at 15 minutes. That's what we're going to be looking towards and trying to figure out where do ROCCAT pull the trigger. And, you know, Lost Chapter's picked up for Hjarnan, he's moving towards Emerald-Nomicon.
And it's hard for them to do bot lane, because they don't have teleports, so Satorius can just counter whatever play they're kind of forcing down there. So I think Maxlore is playing on the wrong side of the map, and he's been doing that for the last few minutes, which I think is kind of slowing them down. Now, it's not the end of the world. We're only 10 minutes into the game. There's still plenty of time to get your advantage. But seeing as we haven't seen any ganks yet from a Lee Sin, who's now level 7, is a little bit interesting. Gragas was very low top lane. Betsy roamed up there. They didn't get anything. They're waiting for this TP from Phaxi. Once it's ready, the dive bot lane can definitely happen, and it's going to be a lot safer to do. Wisdom, baby!
Charm goes a little bit wide. Sonic Wave gonna get flashed away from. And Wisdom's able to escape with his life. We've looked a lot at Maxlore, and obviously catching Wisdom in the jungle may have prevented that teleport dive.
Yeah, but no, Phaxi had no TP still.
Couldn't have even done it anyway.
If they're gone for it, it would have been very, very risky. They would have to like know Satorius couldn't teleport. I just think like you push him on, you push the Gragas on the tower.
Yeah.
And you send Lee Sin up there. You can even roam with Ahri, and then you can just kill him and take the top lane tower. But it's fine for now. It's still very even.
It is, and looking at stats from Wisdom, their lowest jungle proximity, not spending a lot of time in lanes over the course of their 14 games that are losses.
Not last week, though.
Not last week.
Last week he had the highest.
Turned it around in his favor. There's a lot of farming, decent gold difference at 15 minutes. Clearing the jungle camps as best he can. And talking about gold, small disadvantage for Satorius in the top lane, small advantage for NaeHyun in the mid lane.
And now what ROCCAT is doing is they're trying to set up Ziggs to execute this bot lane tower. So they know they have this champion who can very easily kill objectives, who can then get out of lane and kill more objectives. So it's kind of a snowball effect with Ziggs. That's why they're trying to kind of hover around his lane and be like, yeah, come, you can push in now. We're here to help you. You can get some damage on the turret. Just, it's a very slow way to kind of snowball the early game. NaeHyun even gets to roam his bot lane.
All right, xpeke is looking for Hjarnan. Flash forward, connects with the root. Chaos Storm comes down. First blood to El Capitan xpeke.
Nice setup. They actually had TP coming from Satorius, but cancel it. Exactly the same play we saw last week from Origen. xpeke flashes in, locks down one guy, and then Origen ends up getting first blood. Top lane is not really where we see the focus.
Satorius knows that Phaxi is going to get caught by the barrel.
Oh,
here comes Wisdom, but look at the mini-map, guys. Betsy and Maxlore making their way up. If Satorius and Wisdom stick around, Shenanigans could ensue, but unfortunately, not today. So Satorius and Wisdom don't get there, man. And Phaxi's able to survive with actually nothing used.
Yeah, and we're 12 minutes into the game, and we still have not seen Maxlore have an impact in a lane. Has flash, has ulti, everything is available for him. Wrong skin, though, might be the issue. So Pekka goes in, I mean, it's exactly the same as last time. Satorius has to cancel, obviously, because he's not needed. A good start, again, from Origen. Very important as well, they get the first spot. Removing some of that potential goal for ROCCAT.
Yeah, big advantage to Origen. They only get first blood in 35% of their games. Obviously,
but they also don't play against ROCCAT very often.
I was just going to say, competition quality is very different. Origen will also be playing Giants on Sunday. If there was a chance for Origen to climb out of 5th place and get closer to 4th and lock that down, it's these next 2 weeks where they need to win games, and this is a good start.
Yeah, that's what I realized, like, about this series, you know, stats mean so little right here, because all these stats are against top teams, or teams above them in the standings. They have not played each other yet. This is the first time because of the group setup, so they only play each other once. So all these stats, you know, against all the other teams, it's irrelevant, because these guys, they're both falling behind early, they're both struggling in these departments, but not against each other. It's just a whole new game in itself. And that's, again, also where you just got to realize, like, you don't always need to go to the 5-star restaurant to be happy with your food. Like, sometimes just getting, like, a sloppy fast food burger is good as well. And I think that's one of the reasons we have to just look at this game and be like, this can end up being extremely close.
Like that.
Like this.
Maxlore manages to escape. Exhaust comes down from NaeHyun onto Betsy. I think Betsy used that Spirit Rush. Doesn't quite see NaeHyun a little bit under pressure. In the mid lane now, Wisdom's coming in for the flank, but he's already used collateral damage to try and snipe down Maxlore instead. And steal away the entire Raptor camp.
And I think, without calling the game over yet, but I think if you are sitting as Grabs, the coach for ROCCAT backstage, and you're looking at this, and obviously listening to the comms, like, there's probably a lot of things you can note down of, like, where is the team putting the early focus? Is it the correct place? Like, who's communicating? Who's calling for this, like, go bot lane, go bot lane, go bot lane situation, instead of, like, using the Jayce top lane and the pressure he does have over the Gragas? Yeah. Like, these kind of things, obviously, it's a different call they're making. They believe playing around the Ziggs and trying to set him up for that tower is the way to go, but it's just a very slow way to snowball the game. There's a lot of stuff to note down and kind of figure out, is this the kind of comp you need to keep playing? Because right now, you're not winning early game against Viktor Ezreal with a Jayce top.
High complexity team composition. We talked about that. There's challenges to running like an all damage team. And ROCCAT not living up to that challenge right now. 15 minutes in. Maybe a little overly harsh, you know, they're still even in gold, but the problem is the headroom, right? They needed to be ahead with this style of comp. They need to be pushing down towers.
Yeah. And it's like effective gold, basically. Yes. Like, being even when you have the scaling comp basically gives you a bigger advantage, so the gold means more on your team. But we're still waiting for that first tower to kind of crack. We're waiting for Maxlore as well to get into one of these lanes here. Now, at this point, I don't care which lane it is. I just want to see him actually go in and use what Lee Sin can do. He's level 9 now on this champion. Graves will heavily outscale Lee Sin. Like, Graves is a late game beast. So for Wisdom, the fact that he can have a laning phase or an early game where he can literally just farm and just place down a few wards, it's perfect for him. He's so happy right now. Look at that man on the player camp. He just keeps getting more and more farm, more and more camps. He's a level ahead of the Lee Sin.
A level ahead, 400 gold lead for Wisdom at the moment as well. Slowly just continuing to grow, and we saw Maxlore walk straight over a ward. Origen not even a threat of being dove under that tower.
And it's not even like NaeHyun is running cleanse or anything. You can literally just Ahri ult into NaeHyun, charm him, and he dies due to Lee Sin gang. Like, he's dead, he's done. Yeah. Gone, completely.
Wow, what about an Ahri ult into a Viktor combo? NaeHyun's dodged a little bit. Betsy didn't find the greatest skill shot accuracy, and he's forced to flash to safety, but ROCCAT, they get the first dragon. Sneak that one away while Wisdom is drawn middle.
Yeah, so that was good from Maxlore, getting that dragon. He might find Wisdom now, even though he's a level down.
Maxlore's got an ultimate. Let's see if he uses it. Dragon's Rage into the resonating strike. And Maxlore decides not to chase further. Remember, Betsy, no flash, no ulti, no support.
He's chasing him now.
Sonic Wave A little bit of extra damage, maybe execution range, but not going to chase him. So Maxlore still just so nervous.
Well, if they see NaeHyun be really far back in his lane, they might be able to do something bot lane, because now this tower is getting close to execution range.
Sonic Wave needed to connect though, and it didn't. So Maxlore can't chase Peke in. First tower blood picked up by ROCCAT.
And this was basically the plan from ROCCAT. This is what they've been playing around for the last 17 minutes, is that Hjarnan gets to just, you know, get a bit of damage on his tower, get it close, and then boom, execute it. And now they can send the Ziggs around. Like, he can go top lane now, join the Jayce, get this top lane tower down, then go mid lane. So while it is slow and a bit late, there's still plenty of time for ROCCAT to get down these outer turrets, get a big enough advantage so they can start playing around Baron.
Especially when you look at the item spikes. Black Cleaver, Proto Belt, needlessly large rod, plus Murdernomicon. Like, ROCCAT right now are very scary. Tabzz, though, gone for the Trinity Force build himself. Iceborne Gauntlet for Satorius, so also, you know, in a slightly more comfortable position. And if you'd gone for that more traditional, that more old school blue build, Ezreal.
Now, I normally really like the Trinity Force build.
I know you do. You always talk about it.
I know, I always talk about it, because I want to hear you say Power Spike. It's one of my favorite things. That was like a Season 4. Yeah, Power Spike. I don't know. Season 4 moment.
Also, his tier's not fully stacked.
Not fully stacked, but it's not a double tier comp.
He's in a power trough, though.
Ah, I like it.
See,
I like
going old school.
That is old school.
Old school on the buzzwords.
But I actually think Iceborne Gauntlet would have been fine here as well. Just to be like, I know I always have about Trinity Force, but I think Iceborne Gauntlet here would have been fine, because you're against a lot of, like, you know, physical dive in Jayce Lee Sin. But overall, Trinity Force always a great choice for him. And now we kind of look at Hjarnan instead of Maxlore. We don't care about Maxlore anymore. He had 17 minutes to shine. He didn't do anything, so now we don't like him anymore. We only like Hjarnan because he's playing Ziggs, and he's going to move around, and he's going to kill towers, Trevor. So get the camera off this guy. Show the Ziggs instead. Yeah.
Maxlore, we are done with you. Where is Hjarnan at the moment? He's in the mid lane with Wadid. Going to try to play the wave clear game, as we've seen a lot with these Ziggs pushes.
Yeah, so now ROCCAT has 2 winning lanes. Oh, big fight maybe.
Potentially, very good route. Flashes away defensively. Maxlore's been caught out. Dragon's Rage buys some time, but Tabzz was able to escape. Bouncing bomb comes in. True shot barrage. Actually caught by both.
But still, ROCCAT has 2 lanes pushing. Top lane Jayce, mid lane Ziggs, so they can get some damage on this tower. We're just a few minutes away from big gold spike probably from ROCCAT, but Phaxi might die.
Forward from Wisdom. xpeke comes in with the exhaust. This should be the second kill of the game. Peke secures it.
See, Peke is misunderstanding his role. He's not supposed to take the kills, especially not on Karma here. But again, he's setting it up with the team. They're stopping ROCCAT's lane pressure here. Top lane tower is super low. They prevent it from dying, they kill the Jayce. They might even get a tower in return now. ROCCAT actually moved up to defend it and then backed away and went back down to the mid lane. They gotta commit. Either you take mid tower, you defend top tower. Dancing in the middle is not an option.
Yeah, but committing to a play is something ROCCAT has not done all game long. 20 minutes in, Origen have not only survived the early game, but they look to be ahead right now. The tower in execution range. Hjarnan takes it down with the satchel charge. Good. As ROCCAT did commit to a tower. Better late than never, and they get their objective.
And that's the thing again, as I said before, they had Jayce pushing top, that Ziggs pushing mid. So there were 2 lanes where they were applying pressure, and Origen's way out was to fight. They said they didn't get a kill on Maxlore, but they will get the one here on Phaxi. So this top lane tower, you just send the Ziggs up, he gets 1 hit on it, it's gone as well. And then all outer turrets are down, and we start getting to our favorite part in League of Legends, the Baron setups. Because you're not going to be able to just randomly push all the way in towards inhibitors. You need to push in multiple lanes. You need to use Ziggs control again to shove the waves and threaten these turrets, and then be ready to take a Baron.
And how good are these teams at setting up Baron? That's what we're going to judge.
That's what we're going to judge, yeah.
Because we talked about this earlier, Deficio. All stats leading into this game now no longer matter, right? Because now it's number 9 versus number 10, or number 10 versus number 10, depending on your personal preference and point of view. Both teams even in 22 minutes.
in the side lane.
Okay, but where's the support? This is just for the tower. It's not going to be the satchel charge that knocks it over. Instead, Betsy will get a couple of autos. Side lane Ahri, that's something we've seen already today. And as we continue to see more, Mega Inferno Bomb, just to try clear out the wave, and that'll buy some time for ROCCAT to continue applying pressure.
It is not a great thing for ROCCAT to trade objectives right now, so it's good that Phaxi is in the bottom lane to stop this bot lane tower from dying. Very important they use the early game advantage to always one-up Origen. Always one-up them. We get a tower, only thing you get is a few wards and maybe a few camps in the jungle, and that's it. And then you keep doing that over and over. Phaxi might get caught.
He gets caught by the body slam, barreled backwards. 1-on-3, and will get taken down. It's Wisdom with the kill.
Yeah, and again now, Infernal Drake spawning, so ROCCAT got that top lane tower. They stopped the bot lane tower from dying, but then Phaxi alone walks into the river. Not sure if he was trying to contest like a Rift Scuttler or just place one ward, but he ends up getting caught out. Infernal Drake is alive. That should be the Drake for Origen, unless Maxlore can steal it. Betsy's here with ulti.
Yeah, 4-on-5. Hjarnan doesn't have access to the Mega Inferno Bomb, and instead, ROCCAT not committing. Don't get in. Origen get Infernal Drake, and again, late game scaling, late game Dragon. It's just looking very good for xpeke and his return.
Yeah, ROCCAT completed step 1, which was to take down the outer turrets. Gotta move on to step 2 now. That's why it gets harder and harder the more steps you have, or you have to start getting towards, because this second layer of turrets is a little bit easier to defend for Origen. More ways they can flank, a little shorter path they have to run to defend the tower, a lot of wards for Satorius to TP flank from, and that's then when you sometimes have to settle for Baron, which is the risky one, the big purple worm. And that's why we now have to really see if ROCCAT can actually use their comp properly, or if they have to draft different in the next one.
They haven't necessarily used it to its best advantages yet. So let's see if the mid game will be different. Looking at vision, this is of course...
But we're nice guys, so we judge...
Well, you are. You're a nice guy.
We judge when the game is over, Trevor. We can obviously criticize certain things, but there's still a lot of time for ROCCAT to kind of really show what the comp is supposed to do. Like 1-3-1 setup is still strong for them. A lot of pick potential with Lee Sin, Ahri. If a squishy support like xpeke walks in there, dies very, very quickly. Like the amount of times we've seen Ahri like get that support, one shot and boom, back in, take an objective. Happens all the time.
There's a few squishy members in Origen, so
yeah, I can count 4.
Potential for Betsy with that Abyssal Scepter, with that Proto Belt. I thought ROCCAT were trying to set up some vision around the Baron. They just moved into Origen's jungle and then backed out, not willing to overcommit. And of course, Betsy now looks like he'll just recall in time. Out of vision sight. Some support from Origen is moving to the top lane. And 1-3-1. Jayce was bottom, Ahri was top. ROCCAT shoved those waves in, and then we jumped mid lane. Wadid, somehow he got caught.
Well, I was about to say...
overextended?
They did have the side lanes, yes, but you really need the mid lane pushing in order to play 1-3-1. And Origen has kind of just camped that mid lane for a few minutes and prevented ROCCAT from pushing out, and instantly they just create a pick. Nice setup again, and it's kind of the same thing we saw last week from Origen, like more decisive shot calling. It really seems like as a team, they're getting much better at like picking off people when they're out of position. Phaxi's been caught twice. Now Wadid got caught as well. Like multiple times have we seen Origen actually punish ROCCAT for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It feels like ROCCAT are playing scared. It feels
it's hard
like
to say. We're not in the head of ROCCAT, you know.
No,
we can't say it.
Of course not. But we're not seeing early game plays with a comp that had the option to do so. No pressure in the top lane where Phaxi had a lane advantage over Satorius' Gragas, and all of a sudden Wadid just wants to clear the ward. Oh, wasted flash too. You're always going to get weeded there. Save the flash, man. You're going to need it.
But
for the next fight.
It's just a pure reaction, man. You're like, oh, I'm about to die, flash, no.
And not all reactions are good, right? Like,
definitely not.
If you've got great reaction time, amazing, but you're also going to think about it sometimes. That's the next level.
You watched the last game where no one used flash and died, and he was like, never going to happen here.
It's just a caster thing. We yell at players when they don't flash, and then we yell at players when they do flash. Basically, I think we just yell at players. I'm seeing nods from the audience.
It depends on the situation.
Okay. If context matters.
If an Ashe arrow is flying towards you, and you don't flash it, and you then die, then we can say, hey, maybe flash it, mate. You're 40 minutes into the game. You just lost the whole thing.
Well, Deficio, your example sucks because there's no Ashe in this game, so I can't understand it. We'll have to wait to see when an Ashe does appear. But for now, Hjarnan's got some support from Wadid.
Says a lot about your brain, Trev, if you can't understand that one.
There's no surprise to anyone hearing that, Deficio. And yeah, they were pushing up that mid lane towards the inner turret.
Oh, I got
Maxlore,
excited for nothing.
not going to get rooted. He had flash, he had wards, he has Lee Sin. There were some options to escape. And it's 1-3-1. ROCCAT are trying to play them out. Look at this. They're making Origen forced to defend, and they can't do so. Maxlore uses the kick defensively. Then ward hops out, but tower secured safely.
That all three lanes pushing in. You can see the minions in the side lanes right now. We see Betsy up on top side. Phaxi has already left the bottom lane, and Hjarnan got to his tower. That's the thing with Ziggs. Every time you get to that turret, it does go down, especially now later on in the game. So we're still at that point where ROCCAT are trying to execute this 1-3-1. They just got an objective. You know, they're getting a little bit here and there. But Origen are still saying, this is fine, guys. This is okay. We have Infernal Drake with Viktor, Ezreal. Just keep farming and see if we can stop ROCCAT from getting a major objective. And the major ones are Baron and Elder Drake later.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have to worry about the first one. Oh, sorry, the second one. The Baron is the one where you're looking towards it, but there's been almost no vision set from ROCCAT towards the Baron, so there's not really any pressure on Origen.
Feels like ROCCAT are taking the Dory approach from Finding Nemo. Just keep farming, farming, farming. Just keep farming, farming, farming. And it has worked to get towers. 4 towers to 1.
Movie.
4 towers to 1. I cried in the Dory one.
You cried?
It's amazing.
I mean, I haven't watched it.
It was so sad. She's looking for her parents. It was intense.
Okay, that is...
And while ROCCAT have got the towers, they're against this teamfight comp that has been given 30 minutes to free farm, not enough pressure. And now it's Origen's time to take over, right? Look at them now. They need to be the captain.
Yeah.
They need to find ways to break the 1-3-1 and force team fights.
Now we might get a team fight because Mountain Drake is alive. Huge Drake for both teams. Very important for ROCCAT when they want to keep pushing and get Baron, and very important then to deny Origen. Satorius went in.
All right, Satorius did go in. Phaxi's able to flash away to safety. True Shot Barrage doesn't take him down.
He's out of the fight, but he has teleport, Trevor. He can still get back in. Pekka's taking some damage on the side of Origen. No ulti from Tabzz, no ulti from Satorius, no ulti from Wisdom. Pretty huge for a potential fight. They might give it up.
Looking at the wards, there's a control ward in the tri-bush below Dragon Pit. Phaxi's left the base and starting to move towards. All right, this will be the last elemental dragon. The next one that spawns will be the Elder Drake. So far, it's a mountain for ROCCAT, fire for Origen, and Wisdom's moving up through the river.
Very interesting that ROCCAT did not try and force anything when 3 ultis were gone on the side of Origen, and NaeHyun showed in the mid lane near the inhib turret. Obviously, Phaxi was on his way back, but he had TP if needed. They're starting it now, but now Origen is back in. Ulti's ready for Gragas.
Okay, remember, team fight, 5-on-5s. Origen has a comp that should be able to do very well here. ROCCAT, on the other hand, they've got the poke. With the roles swapped out, ROCCAT are not trying to poke down Dragon. Maxlore, hero play. Sonic Wave onto Wisdom. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, and Maxlore doesn't follow through. ROCCAT just give that one up, give up positioning. They don't even contest.
You can already see how afraid ROCCAT is of fighting Origen 5-on-5. As soon as Origen walked back in, they just instantly stepped away. And really almost too easy of Origen to secure the run without ultis at first. With a guy back in pushing near the mid lane as well. So 4-0, slightly down in gold, but Infernal and Mountain Drake on the side of Origen. And you now have 3 items on Viktor. You almost have 3 items completed on Ezreal. It's late game time, baby.
And that's good thing for Origen.
It's great for Origen. Fantastic. It's literally what they drafted a comp for.
It's quite it's going to be interesting to see how well ROCCAT can play this map now. Looking at those gold differences, despite the mountains and troughs looking very dramatic, that's only a 500 gold positive going up and around 1,000 to 1,200, 300 gold negative. So it's been very, very close all game long.
And we have to remember as well, for NaeHyun, still chasing that very first victory in his professional career. This game, when he's on Viktor in the late game, it's on him to secure that one, show what he can do in these late game fights. And honestly, if you are ROCCAT, you start to get desperate now. You start getting to that point where you're like, damn, okay, do we just have to like try and start the Baron to force a team fight and then like try and disengage and create a pick? But then you don't have a tank who really wants to sit at Baron for the entire time. Lee Sin can sit there for a while, but no one else really can sit there with him, and that becomes a problem.
Good damage from NaeHyun. Raleig's Crystal Scepter and Abyssal. Almost chunks out Betsy from the lane at the very least. But look, every time you look at the minimap, ROCCAT are starting the 1-3-1. They've got the inner mid turrets a little while ago. So they're doing it okay. But the problem is it's not enough of an advantage. And for Origen, they've just felt like they've had a better grasp on this game. Still battling for their first game win of the year.
I think a big thing is Origen drafted a composition that required less execution in many ways, which is full credit to Origen for then having a smart draft. Obviously, yes, you have to get body early game, and that can be difficult and so on, but they were able to kind of sit back and say, we're playing passive, we're playing reactive, you have to come to us. You have to force something, and then whenever ROCCAT would overstep, which is what happens a lot from obviously weaker teams, Origen would punish them. Pick up one kill, pick up second kill, pick up a Drake. And now Origen has gotten to the point where their comp will shine, and they're like, great, this is exactly what we hoped would happen.
And it did. I think almost every kill from ROCCAT was those out of position plays, and Phaxi walking into River, Wadid in the mid lane being caught out. All right, Maxlore and Hjarnan want to play with Peke a little bit. He's got a flash and an exhaust, and looking at the minimap, look at all the wards. Maybe the European Baron is being started.
Well, they still need to go back and kill a lot of these control wards. Origen actually just removed one of them by themselves by switching it up and moving it to a different location on the map. I think it's one. Just played by Peke. Says a lot though that you play Ahri, Lee Sin and so on, and you have 0 kills at 33 minutes, and Phaxi will die again now.
Yeah. Phaxi opted into that fight. He went toe-to-toe with Satorius. Didn't have vision on that right quadrant. Look at the minimap. There's nothing for ROCCAT to be aware of. All right, 44-second death timer, and ROCCAT are grouping in the top lane. Origen could set up a collapse, and there's a teleport from Satorius coming in behind ROCCAT. The teleport complete.
This is dirty. He's coming with the Gragas.
They are indeed. The explosive cask has already been used. Flash forward from NaeHyun. The body slam flash. Satorius finds Wadid. Now Satorius is looking for another. Betsy is going to move away with that orb of deception, and Origen continue to chase. Wisdom's coming down. Dragon's Rage to buy some time. And Origen will be content getting themselves another kill.
So they only get 1 kill here, Origen. They might be able to start the Baron. They're very healthy still. Problem is Betsy has ulti, so does Hjarnan, so actually it's too risky. There's too much AoE damage on the side of ROCCAT. You have to respect that. But they stopped the tower push again. It's looking better and better for both Origen and NaeHyun in that mid lane.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And Origen, 14-game losing streak. Are they setting themselves up to break it? Are they setting themselves up to get one step closer to Vitality? They absolutely need to do so. Vision that ROCCAT had placed earlier has now been cleared out. And Origen, 6 kills to 0. They're now, you know, even more content. But I want to see how now Origen can push past the river. I want to see how Origen can now take complete control of the game and actually push wards into ROCCAT's territory, maybe play around that Baron, maybe play around Elder, it's up in 40 seconds, and find a team fight with their team fight comp.
Exactly, so this is the collapse. I think Origen was hoping for a bit more than just 1 kill on the support, but they didn't manage to get onto Ziggs and Ahri. And we'll just have to be happy with 1 kill. 35 minutes in, ROCCAT has still not managed to pick up a kill. Have they even been close?
No.
I don't remember anyone from Origen actually being low at any point. Maybe Wisdom once, where he had to like flash all the way, and that was it.
Yeah, and that was nothing to do with Raptors, right? No, it wasn't.
That was evil. We talked about this, Trev. You know, we had this meeting.
Hey, you said you were the nice guy.
No.
You said you're the nice guy.
We had this meeting, Trev, where we agreed not to mention the Raptors. And you just did. The guy is winning.
He is. And we'll focus on that. 1-0-3.
Great. I'm glad we agree now after you said it. What is it you always say? Better to ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yes, that's correct. Wisdom gonna survive. See, getting low. Didn't need the flash, didn't need collateral damage.
Honestly, if you're ROCCAT at this point, you have to just force a fight a Baron or Elder Drake. Like, you need to just start it. When someone from Origen walks in, you need to just disengage with like Ahri Charm, Zyra Root, something, and just like create that pick that can win you the game, because you're not going to be allowed to just play like a pushing game with Ziggs. You're going to have to team fight, And Origen are happy just sitting and getting 5-6 items at the same time. So you're really on the clock. And it might just be push up mid lane, push up top, go into the enemy jungle, threaten that, you know, Baron, and then boom, create your pick.
The thing is, ROCCAT's done a few of those steps. They have pushed middle, they have gone into the jungle, but they've not done the next two steps.
No, I feel like instead of walking up the stairs, they're walking into the stairs.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
No,
that doesn't work.
All right, so what will work? Because, you know, while obviously we've had a lot of criticism for ROCCAT, you know, they opted into this team composition, they've opted into this play style. Now we're in Origen's
world?
Not Origen's world, Origen's time to shine. Now we're in Origen's team compositions moment, right? And now it's up to Origen to find these opportunities as well, because yes, the comp is obviously in their favor.
This guy.
I mean, that's expected. It's poke comp.
Yeah, I think concerning thing is the fact that Ahri has dealt 4,000 damage. When you have so much pick potential, level 18.
You mean
Betsy.
half of Karma's damage?
Yeah, basically. Like it's the passive playstyle from ROCCAT that's kind of been hurting him. That being said, Trev, that being said, when you have this much damage as ROCCAT do have on their side, like Ahri, Ziggs, even Zyra deals a ton of damage as a support, you can win teamfights at any point in the game. Because even when we say like, oh no, this is over, Origen's late game, blah, 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 mistakes will always happen in some of these fights, and you have so much DPS. One or two guys getting caught from Origen, they die instantly. And that's enough for ROCCAT to then start winning fights and winning the game. So
yes.
I know we've been criticizing how passive they've been,
but
it's not over. That's what I'm saying.
And Deficio, all of those things are so true, and I agree with you. But it means a fight has to happen. It means a fight has to happen. Origen or ROCCAT. Oh, we're gonna get, no, there's no blast cone.
No.
There's no blast cone.
They're not Russian either, so they're not allowed to do it.
Not gonna be able to get in the pits and make that happen.
It's an Albus Nox Luna copyrighted move. Someone else actually did it before them. Who was it?
I saw an LCK a while ago, the time Kench into the Baron pit.
Yeah, but I remember, so Albus Nox did it at Worlds. I just remember someone doing it before that as well. I mean, I'm sure someone else has done it like in somewhere, but
a lot of places. But look at this. Baron setup has been contested. ROCCAT and Origen don't want to give up vision. Blue Trinket was thrown in by ROCCAT. Control ward being cleared out. Teleports available for both. And you know, it's just sad.
Whoa.
It's sad when you see two teams who are unable to push advantages where they should. And it's difficult, but this is the reason both of these teams are in 5th place. You know, we're seeing this passivity, these inability or lack of awareness or unable to jump in. And
oh, Satorius is teleporting, Trevor.
Right.
Save your negativity.
Where is Satorius teleporting
behind
to?
them.
Coming in behind members of ROCCAT. Maxlore is able to escape. Phaxi is not teleported. He's on the bottom lane, and this will result in a tower.
Damn, that's actually big for ROCCAT now, because they didn't even use TP at all, so it's not even any cooldown. He didn't cancel it. He just got a free tower for it. Still doesn't change a whole lot in the game in itself, because it's all about either you break in and get inhibs, or you get Baron. Like, those are the two things we're looking at. Maxlore pulled the Baron, or it got pulled someone else, and took a ton of damage. So basically, like, losing these turrets, it's obviously good that ROCCAT gets them, but Origen is still fine. They're like, yeah, we don't care. Like, you didn't get inhib, or you didn't get Baron, or Elder Drake. Like, those are the three. Only thing they care about. Losing anything else doesn't really matter for them. But as much as we can sit here and praise like Origen's late game comp, they still gotta obviously go in and win a fight.
And let's go back to what we said last week. Let's go back to our narrative of xpeke. Can he demonstrate macro control? Can he out strategize ROCCAT? Safe and slow and steady, get to the team fight phase. Very clear that was the game plan for Origen. It's been a while where xpeke has had opportunities to make it happen, and now we need to start judging like how Origen play this.
Well, so far they're playing just fine because they don't have to force anything. They're gonna get a free Elder Drake. They can rush to Baron now and stop ROCCAT from doing Baron, because ROCCAT was very late at actually committing to anything and realized they just get a control ward.
All right, I've been informed by my stats team, Deficio, that was the first Elder Dragon for Origen all split long.
It's the first for everything.
first time in 2017. Will it be their first win? With Elder Drake, with a team fight composition.
I mean, they have to get this Baron now.
They have started the Baron. Phaxi's making his way up. He's coming from the mid lane. And Betsy's looking to set up a charm on the side lane. Wadid's been caught out. Origen have peeled away. Baron's going low. Accelerated shock blast dealing damage. Betsy's picking a fight in the pit and he's backed away. ROCCAT lose one, but they stop the Baron. It resets and Origen retreats.
Well, we got to see some of the damage here from ROCCAT. First time they actually engage in any sort of fight. 41.5 minutes into the game. They do push Origen away from Baron. They delay what Origen can do with the Elder Drake. That is the only win for them so far.
Will there be another win?
Question is, did Betsy actually get to deal more damage in that fight than he's done all game?
Don't know. Probably. What I like about that fight, though, what I like about that setup, is the fact that Origen actually started Baron. You know, Origen actually forced them to...
It's the small things.
No, it is. I got to take them at this point. They got Elder Dragon. They snuck that one away.
Yeah.
Instantly peeled back to Baron. ROCCAT again, slow on the trigger, slow on the play. Didn't get themselves into a position where they could go for that Baron.
And I know obviously there are things that could have been done better, but I don't have anything like straight up negative to say about Origen at all. Yes. I think they've been doing exactly what they're supposed to do in this kind of series when it is so close between two teams who need to win. They get Baron now.
Look at that!
They have Elder Drake. They got everything. Like, now they can start pushing. There are tier 2 turrets. They have 5-item Viktor at this moment. With the Infernal Drake and everything, he's currently sitting on 600 AP.
A lot of damage to work with, but not gonna be the most effective against these Baron empowered minions. And Phaxi still has teleport available. He was looking to commit on this bottom lane. Satorius moving to clear out the wave though. And Origen, all the advantages in the world. They've got the scaling, they've got Baron, they've now got map
They've got xpeke.
and teleport available for Satorius shortly as well. So
why did it all recall then? They just reset the whole thing.
gotta get that money, spend the gold.
All right, fine. Let's see how long they got on the Baron. That's important, obviously, for them to see what advances they can get.
About 70% of the time frame.
All right, there's still time, plenty of time.
2 minutes 30 if either of us looked at the screen.
Oh, it's up there!
If either of us just looked up.
Yeah, but who looks in the right corner? Come on, there's never anything in the right corner.
Well, there is now because Origen have Baron. Lucky number 7 kills, spread almost evenly across the team. And Betsy's caught out here. Got a flash and Spirit Rush. Exhaust not available for Peke.
Redemption for damage.
Flash and the Spirit Rush, but again, no flash. Wisdom comes in and he's able to just zone and force Betsy away.
And this surely must be one of the only games in LCS history where a team has not gotten a kill in 45 minutes.
Can we check with our stats team? I'll ask them.
Because I know we had a game where the first blood was at 29 minutes, which was the slowest first blood of all time.
Just for what it's worth, our stats team says they hate you, Deficio, because there's so many games to double check right now.
Great.
But they are checking, so no promises on delivery. But yeah, 45 minutes in, 0 kills.
And now they
Could that change?
No.
Could that change?
But they're losing the base.
Satorius has a GA available to him. Satorius is going to run down. Satorius might be able to turn this around in a 2-on-1. Phaxi's running for his life and grabs. You saw him on screen for a moment.
Why did he kill him?
Not the happiest man. Because Origen might be picking up their first game win. The tower in the bottom lane, under pressure. Origen with a minute left on Baron. They're looking at the inhibitor turrets.
It's exactly what they want. Perfect for them. 1v2 in the bottom lane, won by Satorius. Gets that bot lane tower as a reward. Now suddenly, 5k gold ahead. You got the Drakes, you got the comp.
It all goes back to
Nothing should be able to go wrong here. Like, this should be the first win.
This team composition in the early game not being utilized. Gragas allowed to go super tank mode. And now Origen take their 6th tower. They now lead in tower kills. And are looking to set their sights on the base. ROCCAT finally trying to make a desperation play. Maxlore kicks the wrong direction and he almost gets taken out. A decent Stranglethorns buys some time, but Origen just very happy to disengage. ROCCAT, that fight has come far too late. Far too little.
Betsy still has ulti. Didn't get to use it in the fight. So ROCCAT never, as a team, managed to fully commit, which has definitely been a problem today. It's fair to say. And we kind of back here again, waiting for Origen to either go Dragon or Baron. The Baron buff is gone by now. I think it actually looked like it's still on good old Wisdom here.
Well, I have to see which objective it is that leads to Origen breaking open the base. Alda's going to be a couple of minutes away. It'll be about 2 or 3 for Baron. And, you know, it's slow or steady. It's controlled, it's safe. You know, it's so easy to criticize, and you know, we have quite a lot. But because there is so much on the line, can you really criticize control play? Can you really deny Origen this style with this team composition to look towards picking up this win? No, I don't think you can criticize them.
No, I agree 100%. I agree. They're all in a good spot. We're waiting for that inhib to fall, and I actually just want, I'm kind of tracking if ROCCAT is going to get a kill this game. I know Grabs talks about, you know, the team having good atmosphere and everyone is kind of backing up each other and everyone still believes in the project and so on, but hard to kind of see it in a game like this.
It is, and it's been hard to see all split long. You know, ROCCAT, we talked a lot at the beginning of the split of how they drafted these players and how they sort of built a team around like Maxlore and Betsy, and very excited to get Hjarnan, the return of Hjarnan, who a while ago was a very respected ADC. Bringing in Wadid, Phaxi, the solo Q kid with potential, and unfortunately, as a team, they've just not really lived up to some of those early split expectations, and not really shown an ability or a way to grow as the split has gone on.
And it really shows in this game, you know, because if there's one game where you start showing what you've been working on, it might not be good enough to beat the top teams, but then you showed it in a game like this, and we just haven't seen it in the first game. Now, it is a full series, so if Origen can manage to close this one out, then it's on ROCCAT to change for the next game, and that's going to be the thing to look for if they're going to draft late game as well and say, you know what, we couldn't force anything in the early game, so we shouldn't try and play an early game comp.
No, and you said this a second ago, Deficio, this is a series, right? We could have 2 more games of ROCCAT versus Origen, and whoever picks up the win is going to be that much closer to a potential 4th place, and that's what these guys are playing for. Playing to avoid promotion tournaments, again, playing to avoid that 5th place seed. That's what's on the line. It's only week 7, there's still a number of series left to play, and it gets harder for both teams as they go back to their intra-group play. They play their own teams in their own group.
This week is the last week where you play the other group, and then it's back to playing the teams you played in the first few weeks. So Origen again will play Vitality a second time. If they win that series, it's going to be great. Maxlore might get caught.
All right, he will. This time around, the kick is good. Kegel, #1.
That's gonna be a kill.
Available. Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel's up.
They killed him.
Got flash. They've got him. They've got him. ROCCAT get their first kill in the longest game of the split.
49 minutes and 50 seconds, and they killed him. My voice gave up as well. Like, we've been here for quite a tower as well.
No.
What's happening,
Can
Trip?
ROCCAT seriously turn this game around? The base has been opened up. Phaxi lost this fight in a 1-on-2.
Ooh, they're going Baron as well. They're going back to shoot.
My word.
Go Baron. Start the Baron. The jungler is dead. Just go Baron. No, Maxlore, don't take damage. Just go Baron. Start it. Force Origen to come fight you 4v5.
Origen might be losing their chance to celebrate. All of a sudden, Wisdom is caught out, and ROCCAT, they're starting Baron. Support's not coming in. Satorius is teleporting
Phaxi's
in
bot
from
lane.
behind. Phaxi's going on to the inhibitor, and the rest of ROCCAT are backing away. Inhibitor is down. Origen, they've lost access to their base. They might be losing control of this game.
Well, they can still get a Baron here. Let's see, they're recalling NaeHyun. That means no Baron. Obviously, Wisdom was dead, so dumb call anyway. Good for them, they go back. But if they all recall, then suddenly ROCCAT can start it. Like, This is going to hardly wrong. It's time to tap back into the game.
It is indeed. Phaxi's going to jump into a fight with NaeHyun. The rest of Origen fighting. NaeHyun gets his second kill right now. Satorius is rooted down. GA is available to him. That's a great cast. That means Maxlore's dead. Betsy's running for his life. True Shot Barrage flashed away from. Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't find a kill. And xpeke is trying to zone ROCCAT away. All right, Super's in the bottom lane, but Origen stopped the Baron.
And that's the important thing, because they lost the jungler. So, honestly, the stopping Baron, yes, you lost an in-him, that sucks, but stopping Baron was important. Now Satorius and the rest of Origen back at the big purple worm. They're gonna get it.
Okay, so Baron will be picked up, but it's one of those scenarios where it's like, you've got supers, you get Baron. It's a trade that sometimes happens. Not necessarily the cleanest of ways, though.
Definitely not, but now Elder Drake is the next one. And that's gonna be key. Because now if you are ROCCAT, you can't afford to lose another Elder Drake. Like last time you lost all your auto turrets. This time Origen will be able to push into your base. Like we are full late game, everyone. With Viktor, Ezreal, everything. But again, as I said earlier, at this point, you know, the mistake, it can cost you everything. Then your comp doesn't mean anything. Because then suddenly you're a man down for 60 seconds. Wisdom dying right there could have cost the game. But they managed to stall and only lose bot lane inhib.
So important that Origen can use this Baron buff. Betsy's coming on the flank, but he's gonna get caught up. Betsy and Hjarnan, why are you there? Why do you walk into damage? Origen blow up Betsy. Maxlore and Phaxi were nowhere near. And now Origen should be able to secure the Elder Dragon safely. Satorius coming around the side. Ultimate is available to him. Two-shot barrage flies a little wide.
So, Elder Drake, Baron buff, everything you need for Origen. They're pushing straight down the mid lane. These turrets will die in just a few seconds if you get close to them. What means you gotta have the minions move in with you. Ahri is dead. Like, you are 5 members fully buffed up in the late game against 4 defending. Problem is, you have no side lanes because ROCCAT have had to push there. So, sadly for Origen, they have to
They have to get the map. They have to get the map in their favor. Top lane is pushing towards ROCCAT. You can see a gigantic minion wave. Like Betsy and Hjarnan.
I mean, so it's desperation, you know. They think they have to go in and try and maybe steal it, but obviously never really gonna happen in this case. The fact that Betsy is allowed to respawn because Origen didn't go for any aggressive push here does mean that it didn't really matter that he died this time around, and we're still kind of waiting for Origen to use these double buffs. Like, but I get it, you know. You've lost 14 games in a row. So now that you suddenly have the big advantage, like really going for that last push that wins you the game, that is tricky. Like, it can be difficult because you don't want to throw the game. That is like, no one on this team wants to be the guy being like, oh, damn, guys, we had it. Come on, we were so far ahead, and then I was the one who got caught out. So that you start playing a bit scared, even though you are so far ahead, technically, with the buffs you're getting from Baron and Elder. Because they haven't even sieged on a turret.
Nope.
Like, they've had it for 2 minutes now and not been able to siege anything. They might have a chance now.
The waves are coming in. The last minute is going to be moving. Banner of Command buffed up that top siege minion, and OG, they're on the inhib turret mids.
But they should just have NaeHyun with the guys here. I'm not sure if he can do anything just with xpeke. Yeah, they have the banner minion. But you need to go 5 members with the banner minion when you have these buffs and just kind of like use the Gragas to force them a bit away, to respect the engage, and then like your AD carry, your mid laner, your jungler, they start hitting the turret and it dies so quickly. Them splitting up here stops them from pushing Trev, and we might have to wait for
next Baron,
set.
next Baron.
Next one.
Go third Baron. Another Elder, another Baron. Let's break the 60 minutes. Was it Longzhu and somebody else? They went 67 minutes in LCK a few weeks ago.
Oh,
can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, typically when you say long games in LCK, Jin Air jumps to mind.
It might have been Longzhu Jin Air, actually. I can't remember exactly. But this is the longest game of EU LCS, this split.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to 60 minutes. We're getting close to a point where Origen have got themselves a couple Barons. They've got themselves a couple Elder Dragons. They had no Elder Dragons before this game. Now they have 2. Had 2. And they might need another one before they can close this game out.
See, I think that's a smart strategy because you're so far behind on certain stats. By having a game like this, you kind of build up the stats.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, actually, we've gotten 6 Elder Drakes in 2 games. But still, that 6 Elder Drakes looks the same.
It still counts. It still counts, right? You look at those stats. You hear how confidently I talk about stats.
Yes, you are obsessed with
I am. I love them. And our stats team, you know, they do such a good job of informing us all the time.
This actually reminds me of, do you remember long time ago, Trev, when you were still a color caster?
Oh, those were the dark days.
Those were
the dark days.
Those were the days of European color casting, where it was Trev, and then it was a Dane who couldn't speak English. And then the viewers had to just kind of survive that and deal with it. They're like, yeah, enjoy it. This is the game now.
And like 40 minutes ago, you asked me a color question.
I know.
Why do you bring that back?
I don't know. But anyway, dark times. I remember having to very early on, one of the early games I casted was Millennium versus NIP in the best of 5 promotion tournament series, where every game went at least 50 minutes and 2 of the games went more than an hour.
That's tough.
That was crazy.
Satorius, not gonna find the barrel. Also didn't follow with the flash and the body slam, but still gets Phaxi's flash nonetheless. And Phaxi's forced to run away. Wisdom! Not again!
Dude! Second time!
It's in your name!
Dude!
Wisdom means you're not meant to do those things!
This is huge for ROCCAT though. But Inhib is already open. You can go take that one. It's 4v5, 57 minutes into the game. Honestly, if you're ever going to be aggressive, it's right now.
60 seconds on the clock for ROCCAT. Where do they go? Phaxi's pulling the wave on the bottom lane. The rest of the ROCCAT squad, they're thinking about pushing middle, but the wave clear is semi-decent here for Origen.
And the top lane is not in their favor now. I feel like whichever team gets the advantage, the side lane is just not in a position where they can go grab it and use it to break further into the base. And then it always ends in a full recall. Everyone's kind of like, right, screw it, let's reset. Like, we got time, we have nowhere to go.
Hey, like I said, we needed another Elder, we needed another Baron. That's what we're waiting for. 3rd time's the charm, right? That's a saying. Is that a thing in Denmark? In English-speaking countries,
yeah.
it is a thing.
We do like the 3rd time is the lucky time.
Okay,
like that.
Yeah, exactly. So the 3rd Baron, I'm confident the 3rd Baron could lead to the end of the game.
But then you're not confident if you say could.
Okay, no, you're fair. I totally bailed out. I was going to commit to like 9.
I 100% think maybe someone's going to win.
Oh no, I 100% think someone's going to win.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fact. That has to happen, right? Like,
yeah, you say that.
Okay.
You say that. You never know, Trev.
Who is it going to be, though? Look at the vision here.
Okay.
Because even with Wisdom being killed, at 57 minutes, ROCCAT couldn't re-kill the inhibitor. They've tried to set up these waves, but it's not been the greatest of play.
There's like a blocker every time they have an advantage. Either the team actually has the advantage.
Hold that thought. Stats team. So they still haven't updated us about the latest kill. That probably was it. But 600 CS. What's the EU LCS farming record? 602, 634.
Oh, I seem to remember 700 game like last year from like Sven or
on
something.
Siva,
I think, yeah,
and he did it in a ridiculous time as well.
He had like a 700 something game.
We're gonna check.
We have to follow it. We have to track it. It might be Hjarnan in this game, returning from the dead, then coming in and breaking the record. For now, though, it's Baron time at 59 minutes.
There we go. 3rd Baron of the game. Elder Dragon is apparently live, but I don't see it on
No, it's been like that since they actually got it.
Graphics not working then.
Oh, that was QSS. That was QSS. And a dash, nothing else.
Wisdom, a little bit afraid. Doesn't want to get caught this time out, but look at the damage onto Wadid. That is good poke damage. Baron is live. And now ROCCAT, they're trying to play around this. The problem is, if ROCCAT start in the pit and they get jumped on by this team fight composition, they get Goomba stomped. Like Mario on top of a mushroom. They don't want that to happen. So ideally, ROCCAT want to try to play some poke. They want to try to get an advantage with vision or around the map. I mean, that requires doing something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but at this point, like, it's gonna just come down to that one big team fight, Trev. At this point, we don't really care how it gets started either. We just want that big team fight to happen because in this game, we haven't had a full-blown 5-on-5 fight. Like, it's always been like one guy getting caught out and dying. Wow, that was a lot of damage.
Yo, Deficio, stats team have just dropped some knowledge. The LCS farming record was set last year, all right, week 5 summer by Sven. 946 CS.
Jesus.
Do you want to know who it was against? Do you want to know who it was
I'm
against?
I'm gonna say ROCCAT.
It was against Origen.
Ah, that's 50-50.
Set the record against Origen. Origen have broke the longest losing streak record this split already. Will they break the longest or the highest CS given to an opponent as well?
Oh, we have,
come on,
we have to
Hjarnan,
be in for it's another
300.
That's
300
another
CS.
That's another 20 minutes. That's another 20 minutes if he's
I'm
gonna
down.
get that much
I'm
CS.
down. I'm keen if you're keen. I can see the audience is keen as well. So 300 CS.
Can we just get a team fight?
Hjarnan or Phaxi? Who will find it?
No one.
Damn it.
They're not gonna get it, Trev.
Oh, look at Phaxi. I've seen this movie before. It ends with Phaxi dying.
Wow.
Why? No vision at 60 minutes. And that all of a sudden is now the trigger to start Baron.
Oh,
My
this is
dreams,
bad for ROCCAT.
900 CS. They are starting to die. They are turning into a nightmare. 65 seconds before Phaxi respawns in Origen. They've kind of cut off the retreat path for ROCCAT. ROCCAT will find some safety as Origen don't chase.
No. Origen will just take the Baron. Everyone from ROCCAT is recalling. So, another Baron for Origen. Elder Drake is spawning in 40 seconds, as you can see in the left corner, if you guys learned anything from earlier. So that's gonna be Baron. They can take the Elder Drake. Last time they didn't use it at all. Bang, boom. I feel like that's why Hjarnan is high on damage in this game. He's been trying to steal objectives with the Ziggs ulti and hit like 2 or 3 guys. Happened multiple times. Are you really sure 900 CS?
I know, I said the same thing, but I really trust our stats team.
I thought the record was like 700 something.
I actually think it was in that 70-odd minute game where we were just shy of the world record longest game last year.
Oh, I remember.
I think.
I remember.
But
That's insane.
the question is, what was the darker timeline? As
Yeah.
it stands, Origen with another Baron at 62 minutes. Now they have to try find a way to get into ROCCAT's base. Phaxi has respawned. Last time Origen did not go with the 5-man stack. This time they have. All 5 members down the mid lane. Banner of Command used on that siege cannon. With Baron buff as well, it's gonna buy some time. Maxlore's looking for a flank. Wisdom's not really the man that you want though.
I mean, just get someone. It doesn't matter. Wisdom is fine. You caught him twice. You have enough mobility.
Whoa!
Yeah, but I actually want to see how much of that damage is from him trying to steal objectives. Because I feel like that's where we've seen the big ones. Maxlore, baby!
Where's he going? Where's he going?
No,
The
he
wall,
gets
the
the
hop,
one.
the flash, but it doesn't matter. Mega Inferno Bomb goes onto the back end. Wisdom again. This time he survives for a few seconds longer.
Oh.
The burn is coming down. He survives. Wisdom survives. Stranglethorns buy some time. Nobody dies.
Oh, God. When no one dies in a 5-on-5 team fight at 63 minutes, then something is wrong. That is
900
for
CS.
sure.
900 CS.
We're not even close.
900 CS.
The last 5 minutes, he's gotten like 40 CS.
I'm a believer. I'm an optimist. The glass is half full.
I thought before you were super negative.
Yeah, no, but I've swapped now. Now I'm excited. Now I'm invested. And Elder Drake picked up here.
Maxlore.
There's no Mega Inferno Bomb. Maxlore's not going to go in. Sonic Wave doesn't even find a target. Origen. All right, a minute and a half left on that Baron. They have Elder Drake as well.
But Trev, he's hoping. He's hoping. Once again, if you look at the side lanes on your minimap, guys, it's pushing against Origen.
Satorius, okay, he's got a Guardian Angel. This buys some time. Dragon's Rage, it's available for Maxlore. Can he find a target?
No,
Sonic Wave
Don't
onto
do it.
Satorius. Doesn't follow with the Syndrome.
The thing is, Origen can't push because it's one lane. We said this like 10 minutes ago and 20 minutes ago and 30 minutes ago. Your side lanes are never in your favor when you take down these objectives, because now they have to go back and defend again. So they end up losing the buff one more time. You can't just run down one lane against Ziggs. He just kills the wave. Unless you have like 3 banners. But the banner they had earlier, they sold. I think he's going to rebuy it. There we go. He rebought it now. They have another one.
2 as well. Peke had one a little bit earlier for that top lane push.
Okay, so
Satorius got another in the top lane.
if you want to
GA's
push
on
mid now,
cooldown.
use the banner then on this cannon when your team is there. But they're completely split up. So they're going to lose another buff. Trev? Do we have substitute casters anywhere?
Why? Why would you want to step away from this game?
It's not about that. It's more like, if every game is this long, you know, we might need someone to come in and help for like 10 minutes, and then we tag back in.
Okay, tag out, tag in.
We
All
like,
right,
you know,
okay,
you send in
okay,
Pyro,
okay.
Pyro screams for 10 minutes, and then he runs out of energy, and we kick him out again, and we back.
It would actually be really cool. Oh Oh my word. Okay, we'll have
I know
to
he's
ask,
in here somewhere.
We'll have to ask if that's a thing that we can do. But as it stands, I got plenty of energy. I got a dream. Look at those
you're
gold
constantly moving
totals.
around.
I know, it's 65 minutes. It's the longest game of 2017. We may get close to the longest game in competitive
What is
history as well.
What is the world record?
For longest game time?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to ask him to check that as well?
I mean, we have to. You
Okay,
asked about
longest.
CS.
Fine, I got the answer for you. Boom! 80 minutes, 28 seconds. Do you want to know who was in that game? I'll give you a guess. They're in this game. They've been on the recipient. Everyone. Origen against
Really?
Fnatic.
Origen as well?
They are the record holders, baby, and they break records regularly. Oh, you know, I'm being so obnoxious this game. I'm so sorry, guys, but this is awesome.
They are breaking records, like you're stating a fact.
It's just not the ones you want to break.
That's true. I do remember the game, though. That was a CZ rod, everyone bought it, and you
Yes.
guys... It was also last year.
Yes.
Last year we had some long games.
Yeah, we did.
Don't blame me, guys, for thinking sometimes
This is
it was too long.
a retro LCS edition. xpeke comes off the bench. Hjarnan's playing. 80-minute game, the dream.
Well, we're getting towards it. Then you might get your 900 CS as well. But again, you can see how Hjarnan is not getting any CS at the moment. So it's very, very slow climb towards 900. And we will not get there.
I'm actually really disappointed. I started that 900 narrative like 6 minutes ago.
More.
And he's got 50 ZZ rods.
It was different. Yeah, so this far out, it doesn't work anymore. You need it much closer to the tower if you want it to actually like be effective. Because now it's all about like getting to the turret and then dealing a bit of damage.
What I
Really
love,
pushing.
by the way, Satorius has so much money. He sold his GA.
Sold by.
He sold his GA to buy a banner of command. Then he buffed the minion. Then he sold the banner of command to buy a ZZ Rot portal. And I fully expect him to sell the ZZ Rot at some point in the not too distant future and then buy his GA back. That's what I hope happens. And then I hope he sets up for a fight at the Baron. Wait, was that collateral?
Yes, it is.
Worth.
Yeah.
Got the damage down, increasing that graph that we keep showing.
It's like an FU moment, basically.
Yeah.
It reminds me, you know, people are still saying that I dropped too many F-bombs.
Used to.
You know,
Old-
when was the
old
last
Deficio.
time I did that? Should we add the stats, guys? Like, the last time I did that was almost 2 years ago. And it wasn't even my fault. They
That
ran
long?
the wrong clip in PTL.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have said it in the first place.
I didn't! I messed up the clip. There's no point not saying it.
Yeah, that's true.
It hasn't happened ever since. Like, Mitch has done it multiple times. I'm calling out Crepper right here.
Are you setting that up because you want to drop an F-bomb this game?
No,
and
because I said
No?
F instead of actually the word.
Okay.
This is how I've been smacked down into the ground, and I've learned now what I can and can't say.
Yeah. It took a long time.
It took a long time.
Many years.
Many, many years. Oh.
60,000 damage to
But
champion.
he was 55 last time.
He was.
So it shows like how little action there actually is in the game when this guy went from 55 to 60.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 10 minutes ago we showed the graphic.
5.5k more, and Wadid's
Wisdom
gonna throw
again!
the- Wisdom, my man! He's gonna dash and flash and collateral damage to safety, but Maxlore, he slightly overcommits. Smokescreen buys some time. And all of a sudden on the flanks, Phaxi's trying to shoot some fish in some barrels. We're getting close to 70 minutes. Reminder, Fnatic Origen was the 80-minute game. That was the longest. Blue Trinket comes down. Origen looking for Baron number 4. And Satorius sitting in the pit. He could teleport in if needed. ROCCAT decide not to engage because Origen have not used the 3 previous Barons. So there's not a huge amount of concern.
It's kind of like losing a Rift Scar.
I'm giving
You're
up
okay
another
with
one.
it. Yeah, you're okay with it. Yeah, you get that for now. Was that Baron number 3 or number 4? For
That was
Origen?
number 4.
It was
that was number 4.
They're definitely improving the stats in this game. That is for sure. And then now, with this Baron buff, I was about to say Elder Drake spawning at some point, but it's not going to be for another few minutes. So they only have the Baron. Pick up off the bot lane banner minion. So now, guys, now, Origen will have side lanes pushing. I know it's not exciting for most of you, but it is needed in order for Origen to push into the base. So I have to say it here 17 minutes in. Bot lane is gonna push with the banner minion.
Okay.
Top lane is already pushing in favor of Origen. The rest of the
Okay.
team is mid lane. So now you just have to wait for these 2 side lanes to push in.
Hey, listen, I've waited this long. I'm willing to wait a little more.
Exactly.
Okay?
Come on, what's another 5 minutes?
I'm in, I'm down. GAs have been picked up as well. Deficio, Satorius has got his back. Phaxi and Maxlore got a GA of their own. Everybody's reaching 6
Oh,
items.
they're hiding.
Look at that.
It's the ROCCAT Death Corner.
Banner of Command minion. When do we get to name them? Crepper had a rule for it last year.
At this point. I think the first one was always named Bob.
Yeah, but I don't remember the rule. Oh, Crepper had a rule for it.
I normally don't listen to Crepper, so I actually don't know, but...
I tried to, but I forgot. So I'm sorry.
So, bot lane's pushing, Ooh, it's exciting, it's pushing in. Satorius is gonna help it push, so it goes a little bit faster, because they're kind of losing a bit of the Baron buff here. And apparently 70 minutes into the game, Origen has realized that tempo is needed. So, bot lane's still gonna push. Mid lane, wait, are they gonna join with the bot lane wave? I mean, still, it stops Ziggs, obviously, a little bit, but it still allows Ziggs to clear most of this.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Origen are pushing with a banner of command minion. Why are they split up? Bring the rest of your team. Wisdom is slowly making his way down. The inhibitor turret is being shot by double cannon minions. Look at the damage.
Look at the redemption
coming down. Heal up those minions. The tower's getting chunked down. The fight could be breaking out, Deficio.
Well. Again, immune to magic damage. The big one is standing there. They can't kill it. They need Phaxi to kill it. He's afraid Tower's gonna die. No!
It's not done! It's not done!
Oh,
but Wisdom's done it! We weren't paying attention. All of a sudden, Origen have got 2 towers in just a matter of minutes.
All right. The base is open, Trev. Mid inhib going down. Betsy needs to force something.
All right, Satorius has got the body slam and the flash. Min inhibitor not dead just yet. The Baron. Empowered cannon creep bashing away. xpeke has been caught out. Throws down the exhaust. Betsy and Wadid, they get chunked down. Origen, they're committing and engaging at 72 minutes. Inhibitor 1, Inhibitor 2, they fall. Origen have broken open the base.
All right, they got super minions now. Next step, Trev, is to let ROCCAT farm the super minions for another 6-7 minutes. But this one, it doesn't matter. Gold doesn't matter. Elder Drake is next. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Then you team up with the super minions, and surely there's nothing ROCCAT can do against it. Surely, right?
Sure.
Right, Trev?
Don't call me Shirley. Because ROCCAT bucked the trend.
Why are they all going towards Baron?
Origen have taken a long time.
Oh, Maxlore didn't go Baron. They want top.
This far.
They want top. They don't want to wait for Elder Drake anymore. We're waiting for the minions. Oh, this is getting exciting. Trevor's getting ready for the final team fight.
I absolutely am. If you thought the energy was high already, wait until this final fight. Wait!
Cast it like it's the world final, Trev.
6 minutes away, okay. Longest EU LCS game record, 80 minutes and 28 seconds. I've given up on the CS record, 9...
No, you're far away. You're far away.
So we're done with that one.
Wait, Wisdom.
Oh,
How did Wisdom?
Come on!
Are you kidding me? You guys have super minions in 2 lanes. You can literally just go to Elder Drake and take that one. Or you could team up 5 members top lane and push it down.
The thing is...
No. But now they're pushing 4v5. This is risky. Because ROCCAT could force a... Well, okay. A team could force a team fight.
Oh, what are ROCCAT gonna do?
They're trying.
They're looking to flank. They're looking to flank.
Just go fight. It's 4v5.
There's a teleport for Phaxi. Where's the wards? Where can he go? Betsy and Maxlore, they're in the middle and they're dealing with supers. The problem is ROCCAT cannot leave their base alone, okay? Super minions in 2 lanes.
But if you have a 4v5 situation, you can sacrifice an inhibitor, sorry, a Nexus turret to force that fight. But okay, they didn't feel like they could go for it. Origen did step away as well, played a little bit slower. And we're now in the situation, as I funny enough actually said with their, let all the super minions walk into the base and then they can farm him, where because Wisdom died, it's so...
Oh my word, oh my word!
It's happening.
A ROCCAT going to get this. There's no one around, but that Elder Dragon taking a very, very long time. Maxlore and Betsy, they didn't stick around too long. They didn't get caught. They didn't pull a Wisdom. They've backed away for now.
Yeah,
for now.
But I don't think it just means Origen is gonna get it. Like, Phaxi's top lane. He does have TP, but like, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? So with 5 minutes off, longest game. 3rd Elder Drake.
Where's the Mega Inferno Bomb? It's landed every other time. Come on, Hjarnan.
It's how he gets the damage.
It's how he gets the damage. And Dragon is still up. There we go.
Betsy ulted for this as well. So okay, Origen has to go top and stop Phaxi. The wave might actually just push in on its own, so it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm still talking about like what to do and so on in this game. Like, I'm waiting for the chaos so I can just start like screaming with you, but it's not happening, you know.
I do know. I really, really, really know.
This is like my one problem with Lord of the Rings was like following Frodo and Sam. You knew there was going to be no action, like at all. It was just a slow walk, steady walk. Yeah, nice environment. Oh, there's a mountain, there's a Smeagol, there's a spider, and then boom, suddenly the movie's over and they haven't done a whole lot. This game is the Lord of the Rings if you follow Sam and Frodo only.
This is the Hobbit story.
It's a Hobbit story.
This is the Hobbit
not the
story.
terrible Hobbit movie, just the story.
No, yes, agreed. The terrible Hobbit trilogy, actually.
Yes, yes.
All three of those sucked. Baron number... Oh, crap. Is this 6?
No, 5.
5?
This is surely number 5.
Stats team, let us know. Confirm that. This is number 5. Picked up by Origen. Now, normally Wisdom dies. Wisdom takes a big chunk. Phaxi flashes away. He gets out of range of the cast. Satorius is overchased. Nobody from Origen's backing him up. Satorius is rooted down. He's tanky, but he can't survive 5. GA is popped. Here comes Wisdom on the side. He's found Phaxi. Origen gets the kill. Satorius can't find anyone at the body slam. All of a sudden, Origen, they're moving into the base.
Satorius is going to TP in on a minion once they get towards this inhib here. They get it now. Betsy taking damage.
Betsy's taking a lot of damage. He can't find the kill. Wisdom's looking to shut him down.
He can't
no
handle him.
collateral damage. We can't read the note, Leduc. Origen, they're onto the Nexus turrets. Baron and Powered Minions.
Finally got away.
Origen, they're taking down Nexus turret number 2. Peeling away. It's not over yet, Deficio. Flashing and dashing. Tabzz is in trouble.
It's still 4v5, Trevor. They're getting for the 2. Whoa, someone died.
They are indeed. Origen, they managed to get themselves a few kills.
NaeHyun is going to win.
The Nexus turret. The inhibs have respawned. Number 1 is down. Turning away. NaeHyun's dead.
They got
NaeHyun's dead. It's still going to be a grey screen. And Origen look to the Nexus. Origen win their first game of the 2017 season.
And NaeHyun won his first game, Trevor. It actually happened.
Relieved, happy faces on the side of Origen. The longest losing streak in EU LCS history, 14 games, is done, is broken.
They dropped the ring into Mount Doom. The suffering is over. They won a game.
I think they're at Mount Doom. They still have to win one more, Deficio.
Fine.
I think they have to win one more. I think this is them escaping from the spider's lair.
Yeah.
That man on your screen,
He won his game, first game.
The streak, what was it, 0-31. Now, 1-31.
And I think we need to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's big, you know. Look how happy he is. It's actually, everyone wanted NaeHyun to win his first game. Everyone wanted to win.
We have to celebrate.
We have to celebrate it. For
Origen.
NaeHyun.
They win, but, okay, look, we are celebrating the win, okay? Origen broke the loss streak, NaeHyun broke his loss streak, but
yeah.
I don't want to really call this game like a clown fiesta. I think that's an offensive term. I think
that's the thing. I think Clown Fiesta is very disrespectful to say. Like, this was a hard-fought game. They wanted to win the first game, and that's the important thing.
You could feel the tension. You could see how much was on the line.
100%.
And at the end of it, I mean, Origen ended up winning. So, you know, that's it. We're going to send it over to the analyst desk to figure out what they thought about that 70-minute epic.